Everyone, Cream Ray here. Today we have Anthony Barrese, who is a semi-pro soccer player at Electric City FC. Electric City FC Football Club competes in League1 Ontario, which is a semi-professional men's soccer league in Ontario, Canada. The league began play in 2014 and is sanctioned by the Canadian Soccer Association and the Ontario Soccer Association as a semi-pro AM league in the Canadian Soccer League system. Anthony, thank you for taking the time today.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So can you take us back in time and share how you got involved into the beautiful game?
Yeah, so ever since I was a kid, I always liked playing with the ball. It wasn't until I was 4 where I started playing house league soccer. But then again, just playing with my dad all the time, whether it be just outside our house or at the park, that's what really grew my passion. And then obviously growing up, I started to take it more serious, getting involved in some local academy teams and things like that. And then obviously now being able to jump into the semi-professional game and obviously still grow my passion, loving the game every more each day, even more each day.
For sure. How did you know that you wanted to take, at what age did you know that you wanted to take soccer more serious and go pro?
I was actually pretty young. I think I was probably 8 or 9 when I realized like I really loved playing soccer. I was watching soccer all the time and just, watching the TV thinking I wish that was me. And then obviously it takes a lot when you're a kid, you don't really understand what it actually takes to be a professional soccer player. But then after that, say 8 or 9, starting to actually kind of focus on it. It wasn't until I was 12 or 13 when I really started training and things like that and actually started to take it a little more serious. But say, yeah, probably when I was 7, 8 years old.
Nice. We both played at A&B Academy, ran by Coach Bassam. How was your experience at A&B? And shout out to Coach Bassam.
Yeah, I had a really good experience actually. I think that was like one of the first clubs. Obviously, it's still an amateur academy for people who might not know, but it was just run so professionally with so much, so many European connections and things like that. I thought it was actually really impressive, and I think I grew a lot, not even just as a player, but as a person, learning from Bassam and things like that.
What was your biggest takeaway that you took away from Coach Bassam?
I would say being a respectful person off the field. Bassam really like instilled that in me to always like be respectful off the field to coaches, whoever it may be, and just I guess your level of professionalism on and off the field, especially.
Got it. What year did you sign with Electric City FC?
2022, so just this past season.
And how did it feel? Was it a big thing for you, or was it like, all right, what's the next step?
No, it was definitely a huge step forward. The club being so professional, I saw about them on social media, and I knew that that's where I wanted to play. Obviously, wanted to be a professional soccer player. I wanted to get myself in the best atmosphere possible. So yeah, just getting involved there was super exciting. Obviously, this is only a semi-professional team. I wanted to make a step also above, but this is a huge step forward, and I was super excited when I finally signed.
Absolutely. What position did you play on the pitch?
I'm a central midfielder.
Got it. And you guys just currently wrapped up a season. So how did the season go? How did you feel about, your performance?
Yeah, it was a tough season, obviously, being an inaugural season, bringing a new club to the league. It's difficult, but I really enjoyed the season personally. I made a lot of friends, and I was able to learn a lot on the field. I think I was able to take my game to another level just based off learning from coaches and other players. We have so many professional guys in the team. I think it was a great experience. And yeah, obviously, we could have maybe done a little bit better in terms of the standings, but again, like I said, it's hard when you first start out with a new team trying to learn the guys, learn each other and stuff like that. A lot of hiccups along the way.
So you mentioned, Electric City FC has a really nice professional atmosphere experience, how it's ran. There's 21 other teams, 22 including Electric. They obviously provide different environments. What makes Electric City FC so professional? And, you talk about it so highly. So can you just share a little bit with us? What kind of environment are they providing for you guys?
Yeah, I think we're so professional just because the owners, when they first took over the club, they had a direct plan to take us to the CPL in a few years. So I think that was like a huge part that brought so much professionalism with it. And like our team was just speaking about the levels of professionalism. Like we trained in the mornings, we were fed, breakfast, lunch every day, things like that, trained in the gym every day, super dedicated group, stuff like that. And yeah, just being around that kind of group and that atmosphere was huge for me. I'm really appreciative.
Got it. Some players on the team as well are on salaries. Um, do they provide you guys a criteria of step by step of how you guys could get in a position to get paid for what you love to do, or is it just more so they select the players that they sign a certain amount of put a salary to those type of players that they want to?
Yeah, more the second thing you mentioned. I think it's more not a huge like pathway of how you can get paid and things like that, but they definitely did compensate the players really well, and provided like a lot of accommodations, provided living and stuff like that. So definitely like a very professional atmosphere again in that sense. So yeah.
Nice. You said that you play in the midfield position. Are you able to play in any other positions, or is that your main strong point?
Yeah, definitely my strongest position would be central mid. I could play attacking or defensive. Obviously, if I was called upon, I could be put anywhere, and I'd obviously try my best. But I think the central midfielder is where I'm most comfortable.
What are three things that you do well in that position?
I would say I'm very comfortable on the ball. I think I'm a very technical player, so I don't find myself panicking too much in difficult situations. I think I'm a good passer, good range of passing and things like that, and I have a good tactical understanding. So I think I can understand when to bring the ball forward, when to just knock it around slowly, and maybe when to do a big switch and stuff like that.
Got it. And what are three things that you would say that you would need to work on a little bit more to perfect your craft?
I would definitely say the defensive side of the game. Growing up, I was actually like a striker, and I moved back to attacking mid and then just central midfielder. So maybe lacking a little bit defensively, defensive one-on-ones. So I'm always looking to improve in that area.
Got it. Do you think you know here in Canada there's a clear pathway for players that are competing in League One, um, a clear pathway to CPL, or is it something more so where you're having to experience to figure out yourself and make those connections and put yourself in a position to get an opportunity to go to the CPL? What would you say about that?
Yeah, I definitely say I think it's a little bit of both. I definitely think you need to kind of do things yourself to network and create opportunities for yourself. But at the same time, I do see Canadian soccer growing really fast, and there's definitely a lot more pathways now than there used to be. So I think yeah, a little bit of both. Yeah, you got to do some stuff on your own. You got to network. You got to try and get opportunities. But I still do think there's pathways, from League One to CPL to MLS and things like that.
Got it. Are you currently working with an agent to help with this process, or is it just something that you're focused on doing your own right now?
No, currently not with an agent. I'm just working on my own, trying to make the best opportunity for myself.
And why is that? Some players would say they're looking for an agent, they need an agent, but you're pursuing it by yourself. Why is that the option you chose?
Well, obviously, if there was an opportunity with an agent that presented itself, that was a good fit for me. I would definitely be open to the opportunity. Just, I guess I haven't found a great opportunity, like something that works well for me. So it's really just been up to myself at the moment, just trying to network on my own.
Got it. Your plan, the next level to reach would be the CPL, USL, or MLS. Is there a plan that you would want to share of how you plan to get there, or do you want to just keep it simple and move on to the next question?
Yeah, I definitely do think that there's a plan. Like I said, now being off season, I'm hoping to get an opportunity to trial with a professional club in preseason that's coming up. Whether it be in the USL or in Canada, I'm really just willing to keep my options open, but definitely trying to lock down a trial with a professional club to be able to show my ability in a professional setting and hopefully go from there.
Got it. We've heard plan Bs, backup plans. Do you have any of those things in mind?
Um, in my mind, I don't have a backup plan, but currently I am in school, so I guess you could say that is my backup plan, just to keep my parents happy. But I do think backup plans are good, but at the same time, I guess it's to focus on the main goal is the most important thing. But I think a backup plan is an okay thing to have.
For sure. So what school are you attending to right now?
I currently go to Durham College,
And what are you majoring in?
civil engineering.
Why civil engineering?
I just ever since I was a kid, I liked building and creating things, designing, drawing, stuff like that. So civil engineering kind of just fit right into that, fit right in with those kind of passions that I had. So I thought it was a perfect match.
For, how did you make the decision that, you're going to make your parents happy and you're still going to pursue your dream? How did you come up with that decision? Was it an easy decision, or did you talk to a couple of friends, couple of family members, and then make that decision?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy. If it was up to me, like I said, I'd just pursue the soccer on its own. But yeah, after speaking with some family members, friends like that, I thought it'd probably be the smartest decision for me. And I think that there are a lot of positives from this going to school and playing soccer, because it teaches you to have a regimented schedule and not to waste too much time, which I think are positives. Say if I had the chance to pursue a professional opportunity, that would help me like so much to make a difference on the field and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. You're going to school in Canada. Why Canada and not the States? Because we got some players that go to the States.
Yeah, it's actually it's a funny coincidence because well, I don't know if it's funny, maybe just funny to me, but I was actually I was in Europe when I was in grade 12 trying with a few teams. I had some opportunities with some professional clubs. So I actually wasn't thinking about school whatsoever or thinking about say playing soccer at school. So I only came back late in that summer and I ended up enrolling in Durham College, but it wasn't really a plan for me at that time to pursue the college route.
Understood. So, share a little bit about that experience of how did that opportunity pop up and where it led you to.
Yeah, so at that time I had an agent who I was working with. So he opened the door for me obviously to go to Cyprus in this specific opportunity. And I was able to trial with a first division team, Paphos FC in Cyprus. So that was a great opportunity. Obviously, I was only 17 years old, almost 18. So to be around professional guys, professional players, a professional environment was huge. And I think I improved a lot from this.
What country is that in?
Cyprus is the country. It's near Turkey. It's kind of like Greece, I would say.
Got it. I didn't know that. I'm learning something new today. What
There
what's the best advice you've received from a pro player?
The best advice I'd probably say, um, it's just as important what you do off the field as what you do on the field in terms of just who you are as a person and your work ethic. I think when it comes down to it, it's such a fine margin between professional players and say semi-professional or amateur players, and it's often the things you do off the field on your own, the extra work you put in that makes the difference.
Absolutely. Diving a little bit back to, school, you know, did you play for your school team? And if so, how did you balance playing for your school team and League One?
Yeah, I did play for my school team. Fortunately, I guess you could say, the League 1 season finished just as the school season was starting, so I didn't actually have to balance the two teams at once.
Got it.
But I did have to balance the school and soccer aspect, which I thought was at times difficult. But again, just being regimented, trying not to waste too much time, I was able to I was able to do it adequately or fine enough, good enough, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, how many more years do you have left?
I have about a year and a half. I should be graduating in spring of 2024.
You're
So
almost done
just
now.
over a year and a half.
You're close.
Yeah.
Nice. So, we got the next gen coming up, guys graduating from high school or grade 11 guys thinking about, grade 12's coming up. And then after that, I'm graduating. What am I going to do next? What advice would you give to them?
I would say just to just to see what works for you and to try and make the best decision for your own situation. To try and take input from the people around you and the people close to you, whether it be just to, to play soccer at school or just pursue a professional opportunity. But I guess it just comes down to yourself and what you want to do at that time.
For sure. And what advice would you give to a player that says, Anthony, I'm having a hard time, balancing school and balancing soccer. How are you doing it?
Yeah, I would say you're not alone. It definitely is difficult, but you just have to keep grinding, stay in there, try and stay focused. Again, not waste too much time. And yeah, I think that's the main thing. Just try not to waste too much time. Just to try and have a schedule that you stick to consistently, and I think that makes a difference.
Yeah, great point. And I honestly want to dive back into your Europe experience. How big of a difference was the level between the country that you went to Canada? Was there a big difference in level of play, or was it the same?
I do think the level was definitely better in Europe, but I think it's comforting, or it's nice to see that the level isn't such a huge difference. So I think Canada is definitely improving in that sense. Like I said, obviously the level is better. I think they focus a lot more on technical ability in Europe, and it's just something natural to them maybe. But the level wasn't a huge difference between the two, which I think is nice to see.
Nice. One of the things I've always said is that, after I went to England in 2018, is that Canadians are very talented players. We just don't have the system, but now we have the system and it's growing. So it's a great
Yeah.
time. And you're at a good age um to take advantage of that opportunity. So very exciting. Last two questions before we dive into the fun questions. What's your most memorable soccer moment in your life?
My most memorable soccer moment, I would say, would either be one when I first went to Cyprus, just having that opportunity to travel to Europe for my first time, and then to obviously be with a professional club was crazy. And I also say signing with Electric City because, like I said, for a long time, once I heard about the club, it was a huge aspiration of mine to play there. And then to finally have the opportunity to trial and then sign for the team was super exciting.
Nice. And the last question, who do you want in the World Cup final?
The World Cup final, I would say, if it was Argentina versus Portugal, that would be crazy. I think that would probably be the most watched final.
Yeah,
But it would be nice to see Canada in there or USA in there. So I'm not sure really what I want. Just an interesting final.
yeah. I think that Portugal and Argentina final would be insane. Messi, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
All right, diving into the 10 fun speed questions. Who's your favorite team?
Juventus.
Favorite player?
Current favorite player playing right now, I would say either Gavi or Zaniolo, or maybe Phil Foden, and for favorite player of all time, probably Pirlo.
Favorite cleats?
I would say the Adidas X 19.1s.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
Favorite artist musically?
I would say currently probably Drake.
Messi or Ronaldo?
In my opinion, I would say Messi.
Who's the first team you're choosing to use in FIFA?
Real Madrid.
2 goals in a game or 1 goal and 1 assist?
I would say 2 goals.
Would you rather score a free kick or a PK last minute goal?
I would say a free kick.
And if you were a coach and you were able to sub in any player in history to win you a game, who would it be?
I would say Ronaldo, which is funny since I chose Messi as a better player, but I think Ronaldo has the determination and the winning mentality to make a difference in a final minutes of a game.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that. Anthony, before we go, I just want to thank you for taking the time for joining us on the One Soccer Nation podcast today.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to speak here. It's been an awesome time.
Thank you.